Let's get into it, guys. Seahawks, Lions. You got to do this. You got to, spin around the matchups. And Spenny asked the question on the show sheet. What's the one player you got to eliminate for the Seahawks for the Lions to win this football game? Brandon Katz says that he is a lawyer, by the way. But, D-Mac, because as I survey the scene and I look around, and it's cliche, and it's simple, and stuff like that. But for me, it all comes back to this. For me with the Seahawks, and I'll get some pushback on it, and I don't care, it's Geno Smith, man. And Geno Smith had a good year last year, and Geno Smith brought pain to this franchise last year. And they're 0-1. He didn't play well. And, look, at some point he's going to play a good football game. Just can't let that be Sunday. Because I always contend, you take the head off the snake body just wiggles until it's dead.
Yeah, no, and coming off, we saw what he did last year. And so, to me, it's two answers. And it's a combination of Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker with the running game. Can you limit what they can do on the ground? And the other one is DK Metcalf. You hear, DK Metcalf coming out telling CJ Gardner-Johnson he's soft. There's gonna be a lot of chirping. It's gonna be physical. Got to play discipline and stuff like that. So, I mean, to me, it's apples and oranges because you have to concentrate on all of those assets. But I think that, to continue to limit teams on third down, to take away what we couldn't last year, right, and a weapon like a DK Metcalf, I think that the secondary, I would say, take him away first and go from there.
Yeah, and, Bobby Wagner certainly is somebody that makes them go, even though he's 33 years old. I know that's Spenmo's guy. He wanted him here very, very badly.
But is that not where, so sorry to interrupt, but is that not where you would expect, where you're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit more out of the backfield and give him more touches and stuff and try to utilize maybe that, Bobby Wagner's all world, one of the best linebackers to ever play, but, a little long in the tooth, maybe you're going to take advantage of that. Maybe we could see stuff like that, how we're going to try to exploit this stuff.
Yeah, no question. But again, I know it's cliche and I know it's boring and I know it goes against this. Mr. K. Wells 4 says Geno's trash, had one good year. People think he's legit. 1 out of 10 is cat spot territory. It is. It's pretty simple for me. And I know that's football 101. I understand that. But in particular for Seattle, because we saw when Geno Smith doesn't play well, we saw what happens to this team.
Right.
And they were largely ineffective against the Rams.
And the biggest thing is to make them uncomfortable. I think
and you look at last week, Aaron Donald did that.
Who did they just sign? Didn't they just sign
Jason Peters?
Yeah, 41-year-old Jason Peters. So what I'm saying is that you got to make Geno uncomfortable off the spot. He's mobile. I mean, he proved last year that he can do things. We got to be disciplined, but you got to expect us to get more pressure because they're missing some guys on their offensive line, and we have to take advantage of that. And that's by just taking, a half a second away from him to make decisions, make it easier from everybody else. It's like KJ Wright told us yesterday when we interviewed him, who was part of the Legion of Boom, part of their Super Bowl championships, is the fact that if the up front guys get the pressure, then it's less time for everybody and the defense can react a little bit more. We saw it in the first game. We got to keep applying it, especially Geno Smith.
Travis L. Iowa's up to 42 now on DraftKings. The streets know, man. Kudos to the people that got it.
34.5, and then it's up to 42.
Kudos to the people that got it earlier. The people that jumped right in.
Was it at 34.5? And now it's at 42
was this morning, yeah. Minus 115 on DraftKings.
You moved the line 7.5.
I'm the Ace Rothstein of the game of the betting community.
Unbelievable, bro.
The word got out.
But you still like it at 42.
I mean,
that's aggressive.
Yeah.
Not as much.
Is it? I assume it's at plus money. I'd have to look at the return.
I don't know.
I would have to see the return.
But you did give it out at 34.5.
I did, and people got it at 34.5. Cat
Good.
spot. See, that's a difference between me and you. I move the streets.
Between me and you?
I move the streets. You see, all I'm picturing is like in Casino where Rothstein did his bets and all the dudes ran to the payphone and got their bets in. So that's what it is. No, but I mean, again, going back to it too, because I wonder how long, like with DK Metcalf, You saw, and I'm a big DK Metcalf guy. Love the guy. He's a guy I always end up with on my fantasy team all the time. A guy I think that the people severely undervalue, that has kind of that, I'm going to say, negative connotation attached to him. But people, they view him some kind of way. But the dude's a baller, man. Absolute baller. It's just, I wonder how long, and depending on how much you can frustrate Geno Smith, which in turn negates DK Metcalf's ability to impact a football game. How long does that last for?
You know
what I'm saying?
First and foremost, make Geno Smith uncomfortable. Right? That's first and foremost, because then that's the trickle-down effect.
And that's part of it, D-Mac, too. Where I formed that opinion, people laughed at that Aaron Donald clip, and it was funny.
Oh, my God. No, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you've been in that position before. Oh, my God. And if anybody hasn't seen it, it's Aaron Donald coming around the corner, shot out of a cannon faster than probably any Geno Smith, and he just screams out, "Oh, my God." And it was picked up on the NFL cameras. So that's, yeah. So that's what Hutch needs to do. You know, those are the things. Got to make them uncomfortable.
Steve Brown said DraftKings in Pennsylvania is still 34.5 at minus
well,
115.
JB Smooth gave an update. You were looking at the over-unders 42. 35.5 is what the Iowa over is.
That's what it is right now. Wyatt Bear says DK still minus 115, 34.5. Get it in, guys. Get it in.
Get it in.
And look, you want some sound reasoning behind it? Here's what it is.
It's a sound.
His contract rides on it. For Kirk Ferentz' son to realize the maximum value of his contract, they have to average 25 points per game.
Pay attention. There's money on this.
People that are involved have money on this.
That's what I'm saying. No, there's money. You're right. There's
the parties concerned have money on this. Don't tell me
somebody airing it out.
Somebody somewhere is going to catch a beating from Iowa this year. Because
and
there's intrinsic
right now because of in the dismay of the defense of what Western is.
Here it is.
Here it is.
These are when the conditions present themselves. They don't always present themselves.
Touch of grass, little in from the right.
Yeah.
Soft little
kiss draw.
Kiss draw.
Yeah.
We love the kiss draw.
I just started at the right edge of the trap, D-Mac, and just bring it back. Just let it float right back.
There it is.
So there's that.
I'll be locked in.
I know you'll be locked in. Corey Berry, Iowa, the new gambling center of America. And that's what it is.
Iowa.
Hoof Hearted says, I had to vote for Brandon Katz in the opposite, Brandon Katz opposite in the poll. Your get rights are amazing, but Brandon Katz has turned being wrong into an art form.
Oh,
he is
enough.
the Picasso. He has his moment. He is right on occasion.
He stumbles into one.
He does.
Hey, you know what? Even that 20 handicapper hits one flush now and then.
Yes. Wheezy D313, Charles Harris on the defensive line.
He was like, yeah, me.
Yeah, that's me.
What?
The 20 handicapper who hits one flush.
There you go.
On a screw.
20's being generous.
Yeah. 20 beers.
20 beers for sure.
They're calling them BCK, broken clock cats.
Yes.
Just right twice a day.
Yeah, no. Wheezy D313, Charles Harris on the defensive line. If he doesn't show up Sunday, I want Houston starting. Well, Wheezy D, I knew that this was going to happen with people with James Houston. Houston's like a specialist. Houston's like you remember Andrew Miller in his prime, the setup guy out of the bullpen? Name your setup guy. That's what James
Benoit.
Houston is. Joaquin Benoit.
He looked like a billy goat.
He did. He absolutely did. But see, like James Houston is a specialist. He's like a power play guy, a guy that scores on the power play.
Yeah.
He's like a Brett Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like he has one job to do when he's in there, and that dog doesn't hunt in every single situation on every single down of a football game. So just remember that. Like when people are clamoring for the James Houston every down, remember the reason he's successful is because he's put in a position to be successful.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?